Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and welcome to This Week in WoW for the week of September 27th. As always, we'll get started with the Mythic Plus affixes for this week. This week we have Tyrannical, Sanguine, Storming, and Shrouded. Again, that's Tyrannical, Sanguine, Storming, and Shrouded. Sanguine's one of those affixes that does end up hurting pugs, I think even more than high-end groups. And what you're seeing right now, because of Classic Wrath going on, because of Dragonflight Beta going on, and then whatever other games people are playing here during Season 4 on the side, or as their main game waiting for Dragonflight to come out, etc. You're seeing a lot of just 15s for vaults, and then people pushing high keys. And Sanguine actually hurts those people kind of the most. So this will be probably a bit of a rougher week for keys overall, with the general Pug 15 group who keep stuff in Sanguine too long. And then when you're trying to push a really high key, any mistake for Sanguine healing can really mess with you quite a bit. So a bit of a rough thing there. Obviously Sanguine is worse with Fortified, and Storming isn't a huge issue in general. But Sanguine, it just happens to be the situation that we're in right now, that Sanguine's actually a really bad affix, because it's bad for those pushers, and it's bad for like a lower end pug, as far as getting a lot of Sanguine healing. That being said, it is Tyrannical instead of Fortified, so for your 15s and stuff, even if you get Sanguine healing, you still are going to time the key as long as you play everything else, moderately well. So it's not a huge deal, but it is a bit of an interesting situation, just because of what types of keys are getting done right now. Going on in game this week, the Fated raid this week is Sepulchre of the First Ones. So I believe the rotation is going to continue until the pre-patch. So for about another month or more, depending if the actual release date of Dragonflight gets pushed back at all, about a month or more of rotating Fated until they're all Fated. So this week is Sepulchre of the First One Fated. The PvP Brawl this week is Gravity Lapse, and we have a Time Walking event as well. I believe this is Wrath Time Walking, which is extremely fitting. I wonder if they did this on purpose. So whether you're playing Retail or Classic Wrath this week, you can go ahead and do some Wrath stuff there. That's actually kind of funny. We still have Brewfest going on. So you can participate in that, get that achievements done. Again, Brewfest is one that I think is very similar to the Darkmoon Faire in that they could expand Brewfest and make it a whole big thing, like make it a thing to go do. And it is the first time you do it. Let me be clear. The first time you do Brewfest, you'll have fun. If you've never done it before, you'll be like, oh, that was kind of fun. Even if you don't like that kind of thing, you'll say that was kind of fun. And it is. But the problem is it doesn't have much replayability, and it's not modern at all. And so I would love to see them expand it more, just like I would love to see them expand the Darkmoon Faire more. And then at the very end of the week, we will get into the Darkmoon Faire. I'll save that mostly for next week, since it'll be more of a next week thing. But the Darkmoon Faire, as I just mentioned, I'd love to see them expand that with Brewfest, for the same reasons and the same kind of thing. So, yeah, I'd love to see that. Probably the biggest news this week. Well, actually, there's multiple big pieces of news. It depends what you're into, I guess. But maybe the biggest news is the Wrath Classic, Wrath Classic launch this week. So this will actually be today. I record This Week in WoW video a day early, the night before, the day before, and so that'll be today for NA and for NA basically, and then it'll be in the evening or very late or very early morning everywhere else in the world. And so that'll be this week, and many people will be participating in this, and everyone's pretty hyped by it seems to be. And I will be participating as well. And like I mentioned, I may throw a few bit of Wrath stuff up here. If so, it would just be like raid bosses and stuff like that. I'm not going to be theory crafting on Classic or doing guides or anything like that. It would just be like, hey, this was a cool raid. I was the top DPS in it. Check it out, the kind of thing. If I do anything at all from Classic. So that's all it would be. So I will be playing it, although probably fairly casually. The other big thing, if you're not into Classic, this week is the raid testing is going to be beginning. This was a little bit of a contentious thing. Raid testing is also going to be beginning for Dragonflight this week. So that is something I will be trying to do as well. If I do test anything on Classic, or not on Classic, on Dragonflight Beta for the raids, I will try to post videos for that, my thoughts, actual, footage of that, and also will possibly even stream it if I'm going to be doing it for a while. That way people can just come in and check it out if they want. If I do, I'll just stream it here on YouTube if I do that, so you don't have to go far or anything or try to find me anywhere else. If I do stream the raid testing, it will be here, and that'll just be so other paladins or anybody can come in and check that out and see what they think about the bosses. Probably we'll get some tuning passes as well, maybe before the raid testing even, and so there will be a lot of news coming out with that as well. This is just a super exciting time to play World of Warcraft. I've mentioned that before. In fact, like, the retail version of the game is the most boring thing. Season 4 is not bad at all. It's just there's so many other things to do. There's Classic Wrath, and then there's all the Dragonflight beta stuff going on, and so it's like there's just a lot of stuff to do. And if you're having fun in Season 4, it's like that's great too. And I wish I had time in the day to do content for all three things. Honestly, that would probably be ideal for me. But I don't even have time in the day to play all three things. So I'm just, I'm kind of picking and choosing where I'm at here. I'm trying to focus on beta a lot. One, because that's what I kind of focus on this channel. And then, I'll sneak in some Classic here and there, and then I log on for the raids in Season 4, Shadowlands. And yeah, so that's where I'm at with it. But I'm having a lot of fun. I just wish there was more time in the day, honestly, with all this stuff coming out. As far as if there is no big news or anything, I am planning on doing a video about, is Dragonflight ready? That's been a bit of a contentious thing. People saying some very hyperbolic things about it. I wanted to give my 2 cents on it because I do disagree, and I think a lot of it is typical WoW player degen propaganda, which we see. And we see that in all games and all MMOs specifically, but definitely all games where the player base kind of has like their own motivations and reasons for things. But yeah, super excited, guys. Should have plenty of content this week, I would imagine, with everything going on. So as always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel because that helps me out so much. And other than that, everybody have a good one.